Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Now, 3 days ago, I posted a video talking about the requirements you need to meet to apply successfully for your indefinite leave to remain as an immigrant in the United Kingdom. And I got loads of questions and reaction from the video. Now, I've spoken with individuals and families looking at applying for their indefinite leave to remain. There are so many dilemmas being faced by these individuals looking at applying for their ILR. Now, one of the most common dilemma among the individuals and families I've spoken to is around the cost of applying for the indefinite leave to remain. Now, getting your indefinite leave to remain is not cheap, and I think most families are not well prepared for this cost implication. And this has been a major challenge for those who are looking at applying for their indefinite leave to remain. Now, for those who don't know, as of today, 3rd of December 2024, the cost of applying for indefinite leave to remain is £2,885 per individual. So now, most of the people I've spoken with, they are actually in this situation whereby it's almost impossible for them to be able to apply for indefinite leave to remain based on some of the conversation that we're going to be having in this video. So if you plan to apply for your ILR soon or anytime in the future, you definitely want to stick to this video till the end to make sure you have all the boxes ticked before you push out the application. It's a whole lot of money to apply for your indefinite leave to remain if you're not 100% sure the application will be approved. So you want to make sure you stick to this video to the end. And if you're coming across this channel for the first time, do well to hit on the subscribe button to join the amazing growing family. And my returning subscribers, thank you guys for being here. I really do appreciate you guys. So without further ado, let's get right into the video. The goal of many immigrants living and working in the UK is to ultimately get the indefinite leave to remain, whereby we have no restrictions or you get become eligible for so many other benefits that comes with being a resident in the United Kingdom. And being able to get the indefinite leave to remain is dependent on your compliance with the current visa you are on and being able to meet the eligibility requirements for the indefinite leave to remain. And that's where the conversation is going to be around. Now, for you to be able to get your indefinite leave to remain, you must have lived and worked in the UK for 5 years. And there are rules to what counts towards your time in the United Kingdom. We're going to have a detailed chat about that shortly. You must also meet the salary requirement, must also continue to be needed for your job and meet the salary requirement after you get indefinite leave to remain. You will need a document from your employer or sponsor to confirm this. Now, one of the major challenges people get to face, especially when it comes to getting their indefinite leave to remain, is not meeting these eligibility requirements. When people are able to meet this requirement without any hassle, and the major challenge most people get to face basically is around the cost of getting this indefinite leave to remain. Now, at the moment, the cost of getting your ILR, it costs about £2,885 for each person applying. You will include your partner and children on the same application form if they are eligible. You will each need to have your biometrics information, fingerprint and photo taken. There's no fee for this. You will usually get a decision within 6 months if you apply using the standard service. If you want to get a priority service, which takes about 5 days, you need to pay £500 extra. And if you want to get a super priority, which takes a day to get a decision, you pay additional £1,000 to get it done. Now, one of the conversations I've had with families in the last couple of days after I posted this last video was managing the cost of getting the indefinite leave to remain. And I think people don't really talk a whole lot about this, especially if you've got a family. So 2 days ago, I spoke with a family of 5 applying for the indefinite leave to remain, and the conversation we had was around the cost. So at the moment, I think they are about 4 years already on the skilled worker visa, meaning in the next 1 year they'll be eligible to apply for indefinite leave to remain. And the conversation was majorly around how much it's going to cost them as a family to apply for the indefinite leave to remain. And I checked out, decided to do simple basic maths, and £2,885 per person for a family of 5. It means that they will require £14,000 to get the indefinite leave to remain, which is a whole lot. And I think getting your indefinite leave to remain is something that every family needs to start making plans for as early as possible. I mean, you need to start saving aggressively for that. And the reason why this was a bit difficult for them was because of the fact that they recently bought a house. I think they bought a house a couple of months ago, and that's where the whole planning thing comes into picture. If you're looking at getting your indefinite to remain in the future, and you don't have a family of 5, you don't have 15 grand saved somewhere for that purpose, I think buying a house at that time might not be a good idea. I might be wrong. It's just my personal opinion. If you have any contrary thoughts to what I just said, please state those thoughts in the comment section. You might be helping people make the right decision as regards, their life here in the United Kingdom. Now, in my opinion, I think it's worth holding on. If you don't have that £15,000, the money you paid for deposit for that house, you might probably want to hold on to it for a while, get it indefinitely to remain, and you can then apply, or you can then pay your deposit to buy that house you want. And the reason why this is because even applying, or trying to get a mortgage as a permanent resident, you probably even get a better, or better interest rates, better deal from from lenders than applying for mortgage or getting your mortgage while on the skilled worker visa. So I think they should have waited till they get their indefinite remain before buying the house. This is just 1 year, in between. But anyway, they bought the house, they paid the deposits, they've even moved in, they've completed on the house, and now they're looking at getting their indefinite leave to remain, and it's costing about 15 grand to get indefinite leave to remain, and they still not be able to afford it. And this is going to be a major challenge, and they've been running here and there trying to see how they can actually meet up with that, financial implication before the next 1 year, which I think should have been planned for earlier, earlier before now. Anyway, now some of the requirements, boils down around the time in the UK. Now, from the last video I made, I talked about the fact that if you're looking at and getting your indefinite leave to remain, depending on the visa category you are on. If you're on the skilled worker visa, you will be required to be on the skilled worker visa for at least 5 years before you become eligible to apply for indefinite leave to remain. On the other hand, if you're on the global talent visa or the innovator founder visa, you can apply for the indefinite leave to remain after 3 years of being on these visas. Now, the time in the UK, if you spend some time outside the UK, you also need to be very cautious of that. And I also talked about this in my last video. If you're so I'm going to read this directly from gov.uk so you can get better clarification, because I got a couple of questions around the 180 days rule. Now, you must have spent no more than 180 days outside the UK in any 12 months. So if you're applying for ILR soon, make sure that throughout the period you're on the skilled worker visa or whatever visa you are on, you haven't spent more than 180 days in any 12 months at all. If you think you're affected by the rule, the Home Office has a guidance about how to calculate your time in the UK. You might probably want to check the link in this description of this video. And also, one of the most important thing around this is, I got asked a lot of questions that what if I change visa? What if I switch from one visa to another? How does that affect me being able to get my indefinite leave to remain? Now, for what is on gov.uk, if you have had more than one visa in the 5 years you've lived in the UK, you can include time you spent on any combination of the following visas. One, if you're on the graduate entrepreneur visa, which is popularly called the tier 1 visa, the skilled worker visa, formerly known as tier 2 visa, the scale up worker visa, the T2 minister of religion visa, international sport person, T2 sport person, or tier 2 sport person visa, innovator founder visa, global talent visa, representative of an overseas business. If you've been on any of the following visas, then you're eligible to apply for the indefinite leave to remain. So if you're probably on, let's say you're on the skilled worker visa for 2 years and you move to the global talent visa for another 3 years, you can combine the time spent on both visas to apply for the indefinite leave to remain. I hope that makes sense. So even if you're on the health and care visa for 2 years and you then move to the skilled worker visa for the next 3 years, you can apply for indefinite leave to remain after 3 years on the skilled worker visa, combined with the 2 years you've spent initially on the health and care visa. Now, aside from the time spent in the UK, another major requirement is around the salary. Now, the financial requirements. Now, this is for those on the skilled worker visa. Now, you will usually need to be paid at least whichever is the highest out of the following. So it's either you're paid £25,600 per year, on your job, or you're paid £10, 10 pence per hour, or you're paid the going rate for the type of job you will be doing. So the requirement here is based on the salary you're being paid by your employer on your current job before you apply for indefinite leave to remain. Now, look at an example given on gov.uk. It says that your salary is 27,000 per year, but the annual going rate for the job you will be doing is £30,000. You do not meet the usual salary requirement for this visa. So you need to make sure that the job you're doing, your salary on that job meets the going rate for that particular role. Now, other conversation is majorly when can you apply. Now, if okay, I've been on the on the work visa or any of the work visas for up to 5 years now, when can I actually apply for the indefinite leave to remain? Now, the earliest time you can apply is 28 days before you've been in the UK for 5 years on a qualifying visa. Now, you can check out which visa counts towards your time in the UK. Your application may be refused if you apply earlier. Do not wait until your current visa expires. If your visa expires before you can apply for indefinite leave to remain, you will need to renew it first before you can apply for indefinite leave to remain. So it means that if the current visa you've got at the moment, let's say for example, your visa is going to expire, let's say not up to 5 years, you might need to first renew the skilled worker visa before you can apply for indefinite leave to remain. So it means that you need to push out your indefinite leave to remain 28 days. You can 28 days before your 5 years of being in the UK is actually, complete. So just make sure you put everything into consideration. Don't ever stay in the UK illegally during the 5 years, because that would, cut short your 5 years, and you might have to like restart counting the 5 years all over again. So yeah, let me know your thoughts. If you have any question around indefinite leave to remain as an immigrant living in the UK, please put them in the comment section. And if you're coming across my channel for the first time, do also hit on the subscribe button to join the amazing growing family. And my returning subscribers, thank you guys for being here. I really do appreciate you guys. So this will be the end of this video, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Thank you.